More arrests are expected following ugly clashes during protests in Melbourne CBD over the weekend. Reporter Stephanie Ferrier joins us now from Melbourne. Steph, what's the latest?
Good morning, Gemma. Police are yet to charge a 30-year-old woman from Brunswick West, that's in Melbourne's inner north. She was the only person arrested yesterday during those demonstrations as police fought to separate the anti-immigration rally from a counter-anti-racism protest in the heart of the CBD. However, officers say that they have absolutely plenty of CCTV footage as well as the video from those officers' body-worn cameras to trawl through to try to identify others who were responsible for the violence that ended up leaving 2 police officers in hospital. Now, a female sergeant suffered a broken hand, while a male senior constable was also hurt. He had a leg laceration as a result of things being thrown at police. So we heard from one of the senior commanders who said that police have basically had a gutful of these sorts of violent demonstrations, and he actually dumped a whole lot of rocks and broken bottles at the press conference to show the sorts of projectiles along with rotten fruit that were being thrown at officers. And he says that some of them were hurled with such force at police that it ended up breaking some of their protective shields during the demonstrations. Now, we've also heard as well from the Premier, Jacinta Allen. She's issued a statement saying that some of these people simply go down to protest for the sake of protesting. And she says while there is that democratic right to be able to protest, there's also a corresponding obligation to do so peacefully. So she says that when people choose violence, like hurling rocks at police, as some of those demonstrators did yesterday, then they should and deserve to face serious consequences. And she's actually talking about some of the legislation that they're intending to introduce into Parliament next month, which is expected to have new safety laws that should clamp down on some of this sort of behaviour. We've heard from some of the activists in the anti-racism camp, and they spoke about police violence and said that there were nearly 5 people hospitalised. Police say that they don't know anything about extra hospitalisations that happened. However, they say that they have the right to use force to ensure the safety of the community. And just a little while ago, we also heard from the Police Minister here, Anthony Carbines, on ABC 774 Radio Melbourne. And he said, in terms of those allegations of brutality, he said, well, there are none so blind as those who will not see. And he said that it's clear that if you decide to go up right under the noses of police and try to disrupt them from being able to do their jobs and protect the community by keeping these opposing groups apart, then you should expect that there will be some sort of force. And he pointed to the fact that we have seen plenty of peaceful demonstrations involving tens of thousands of people in the CBD in the past, which have not devolved into this sort of violence. But as I mentioned, police do want to hear from anybody with any information as far as any of those other demonstrators who might have been throwing rocks or broken bottles at police, because they say that the full force of the law should be expected against people who do these violent acts.